Good evening, friends. Let us be still a moment. Before a word is spoken, there is a presence here, closer than breath, quieter than thought. Tonight's message carries a title that sounds urgent, yet points to something timeless. You need to hear Joel Goldsmith's last words before it's too late. Not the last syllables of a man, but the last echo of self, will before silence takes its rightful place. We are not here for information, we are here for impartation. When the mind grows quiet, a living word rises within, and what you hear is not from a person, but from that inner sanctuary that speaks without sound. If you have been searching the world for answers, this may be the moment you stop, turn within, and discover the answer that has been waiting for you to listen. If this resonates, like the video, comment a symbolic number that speaks to you: 111 for oneness, 333 for alignment, 777 for grace, and subscribe so we can keep returning to this silence together. Stay with me, because in the next breath we'll uncover the last words, hidden in every true teaching, the one realization most seekers overlook until the very moment it matters most. Be still, the presence reveals itself in silence. This stillness is not a posture of the body, but a yielding of the inner grasping, the soft release of the mind's insistence to manage, defend, or achieve. We are not trying to reach God, we are allowing God to be God where we are. In that holy pause, what you are seeking ceases to be distant, and the invisible announces itself without sound. Silence is not the absence of something, it is the presence of something. It is a living atmosphere, a gentle pressure of love, a warmth that does not come from emotion, and a light that is not seen with eyes. When you enter it, better when you let it enter you, you discover that prayer is not words spoken outward, but attention turned inward, a listening so simple that even thought bows its head. Let thoughts walk across the stage if they must. Do not push, do not pull. The sea does not quarrel with the waves. Be the sea. Watch the movement come and go while you rest as the unmoved depth in this non-resistance. A subtle recognition dawns: I am not the thinker of these thoughts, I am the awareness in which they appear. This awareness is the very doorway through which the presence makes itself known. We do not seek silence to get health, supply, or safety. We seek silence because in silence God is revealed as the only life, the only substance, the only law. From that realization, harmonies appear as natural consequences, not as manufactured results. The branch does not strain to bear fruit, it abides in the vine, so we abide, and the vine expresses. When fear arises, do not bargain with it. Pause. Let the breath be gentle. Place your attention, not with effort, but with affection, upon the center of your being, as though you were listening beneath the noise, beneath the memory, beneath the hope. Whisper within, if you like, "Here I am." Then wait. Do not outline what should happen. Do not measure the minutes. The infinite invisible is not late and is never hurried. You may feel only a feather, touch of peace at first, a slight loosening of the inward fist. Do not judge it. A mustard seed knows how to become a tree without your counsel. Return to this inner Sabbath, many times a day, a 30-second bow of the heart, before a conversation, a quiet glance inward while washing a dish, a waking minute at night with the light off and the world let go. Notice how the atmosphere shifts. The same tasks remain, but the door is different. Where a me, once strained, a presence now acts of itself, and with it comes a wisdom that needs no argument and a love that requires no reason. This is the end of isolation. This is the secret place where the Father sees in secret and rewards openly. Rest here a moment longer, not reaching, not naming. Notice the gentle hum beneath thought, or the effortless aliveness that was present before the question and remains after the answer fades. Let it say, without words, I am. Let it move without effort, as peace. In that recognition, the need to resist, to grasp, to hurry, quietly dissolves within the radiant quiet now. From this stillness arises a simple, blazing fact. God is one presence, one power, no opposition. The word is not grammar, it is reality naming itself. It has no past to regret, no future to attain, no edge where something else begins. Is does not compete. It neither defends nor attacks. Where the human sense perceives two forces, good and evil, health and disease, supply and lack, there is only the hypnosis of the senses mistaking shadow for substance. In the light of is, the shadow cannot argue. It has no voice, no law, no continuity. We do not affirm a bigger power to defeat a smaller one. We awaken to the absence of any second power. This is why the Master bid us resist not evil. Resistance makes an adversary out of a mirage, and then asks God to help win the fight. In the silence we are released from deputizing the infinite to fix the finite. We behold the infinite invisible being itself as the only cause, the only activity, the only law. Harmony unfolds because is indivisible, and what cannot be divided cannot be threatened. When a condition presents itself, pain in the body, tension in a household, a number in a bank account, do not yield it the dignity of causation. Pause and let the habit of fear exhale. Turn within and acknowledge. Well, not as mantra, but as recognition. God is here. One presence omnipresent, one power omnipotent, one mind omniscient. Appearances possess no law to sustain themselves in the face of realized oneness. Then watch, without outline, as grace corrects, not by changing matter, but by revealing the nothingness of the claim and the allness of the presence that never moved. The so-called carnal mind is not a mind, it is a name for the suggestion of two powers. Treat it as impersonal, without hatred and without respect. As fog before the sun has no substance to disperse, the belief in opposition has no entity to reform. Bring no contempt to persons, see through the mask. The Christ in you recognizes only itself everywhere, and in that recognition, antagonism loses its oxygen, and peace becomes the atmosphere into which actions naturally align. This one does not annihilate your individuality, it fulfills it. The river is most itself when completely yielded to the sea. As you live from is, talents ripen without struggle, guidance appears without argument, protection is present without defense. The day arranges itself around the rhythm of grace. You find yourself saying less and hearing more, pushing less and accomplishing more, because the door is no longer a private, but the presence acting as you, through you, as the effortless rightness of the moment. Let practice be simple. Many times a day, quietly acknowledge only God is. Do not try to make it true. Let it be true. Feel for the soft inner ascent, that subtle shift from tension to trust, from argument to awareness, and let your attention rest there until thought loosens its grip. In conversation, in traffic, in the quiet of night, return to this single recognizer within that needs no proof because it is its own evidence. You will notice how the sense of pressure thins, how decisions choose themselves, how safety is not something you secure but the felt fact of omnipresence, and in that awareness the sense of a private me begins to loosen. Ending the personal sense is not self-rejection, it is self-relinquishment. We do not punish the personality, we release it from pretending to be the source. Is the actor that rehearses worry, defends reputation, hoards credit, and shoulders blame. Let it bow out. The Christ within, the living presence, the impersonal spiritual identity, steps forward when the role steps back. You will notice the shift by its quietness. Decisions no longer demand strain because they are not authored by a frightened manager. Ideas rise unannounced, appropriate to the moment, and they carry their own peace. This is governance from within. The Father within me doth the works was not a figure of speech, it was the operating principle of freedom. When the inner government leads, you are relieved of both vanity and dread, you neither take the glory nor bear the fear. How is the personal sense ended? Not by struggle, but by seeing. Each time the mind claims, I must make this happen, pause and acknowledge, I can of mine own self do nothing. Then wait, not idly but receptively, until you feel the quiet nudge of the presence. It may be a word, a picture, a calm certainty with no words at all. Move with that. If nothing is felt, do nothing outwardly. Inaction under grace is wiser than action under panic. In relationships, ending personal sense looks like dropping the urge to manage another's awakening. The Christ in you meets the Christ in them, and in that recognition criticism loses its fuel. You speak when moved, you are silent when not, and either way love is doing the speaking. In work, it appears as excellence without anxiety. You attend to the next clear right step and leave the outcome to the wisdom that gave the step. Let the Christ govern your language. Replace the pronoun of possession with the fact of presence. Instead of my strength, my idea, my success, let there be the activity of God as strength, as idea, as fulfillment. This is not pious wording, it is a change of center. As the center shifts, burdens lift. The day arranges itself around inner guidance. The phone call you need comes. The closed door redirects you to a better door. The timing that once felt late reveals itself as precise. Do not mistake meekness for passivity. The Christ within is bold without belligerence, decisive without tension. It says yes or no without apology because it does not consult fear or vanity. It consults only its own light. When correction is needed, it arrives as clarity rather than anger. When protection is required, it appears as an effortless shield of rightness that no argument can penetrate. Practice the simple surrender often, Father, reveal thyself as this moment. Let attention rest in the heart's still center. Let thoughts pass like birds. Let peace announce the next move, and let love finish what love begins. When memories try to seize the wheel, notice the contraction named or me. Bless it, and release it to silence. The flute does not supply the music, it offers its emptiness. As yielding deepens, identity brightens, unique, radiant, unburdened by authorship, a transparency through which the light conducts its own symphony. And that transparency reveals a law, not of force but of being. Consciousness alone is cause, appearances have no law. Effects do not generate themselves. They are shadows cast by states of awareness, pictures on the screen of sense. The one true activity is within, God, the infinite invisible, forming and informing as consciousness. When we live from this center, we stop arguing with the picture and tend to the light that projects it. Think of a theater. The drama on the screen seems to fight, to love, to bleed. Yet the screen never suffers and the projector is untouched. If the reel changes, the scene changes. So with life, bodies, bank books, headlines, these are frames of film. The cause is never out there. The tendency of the human mind is to rush the stage, to battle the hero or villain. Spiritual practice turns us gently around to the booth, to the source. Adjust the light, the scene corrects. To say appearances have no law is not to pretend they don't appear. It is to deny them jurisdiction. Disease claims a law of progress, lack claims a law of limitation, conflict claims a law of reaction. But one law, one presence, one power leaves no legislating room for a second. What seems to govern error is only the momentum of universal belief. What Scripture calls the carnal mind, which is not a mind at all but hypnotic suggestion. Bring the awareness of one, and the pseudo-law is found lawless. In the hour of trouble, this is our way: withdraw recognition from effect and return to cause. Not to manipulate God into fixing matter, but to rest in God as the only cause and let grace reveal itself as harmony. Quietly acknowledge, here and only here, one consciousness is cause. Then wait until a felt peace arrives, however slight. That peace is the sign that the projector is aligned. Often, what the outer scene begins to shift, a phone call clears misunderstanding, a forgotten avenue opens, the body relaxes in ways medicine cannot account for, timing arranges itself beyond planning. Do not chase the change, abide in cause. Consider a garden. Leaves do not instruct roots, roots feed leaves. To prune a leaf is maintenance, to water the root is causation. Much human living is leaf pruning, managing appearances, negotiating with symptoms, forcing outcomes. The spiritual life waters the root. Attention is the water, silence is the soil, truth is the nourishment. In this atmosphere, what needs to fall away falls, what needs to ripen ripens, and none of it is accomplished by personal pressure. The belief in secondary causes wears many respectable names: heredity, contagion, market cycles, personality types. None are demonized, they are recognized as descriptive, not causative. They describe the picture, they do not create it. When you feel their pull, pause and ask, am I consulting effects to explain effects, or am I standing in cause to witness cause expressing? That single shift releases the compulsion to diagnose and installs the freedom to behold. Take normal footsteps, but take them from the center. Make the call if you are led, see the practitioner or the advisor if wisdom nudges, move the money or the meeting as guidance indicates. The distinction is inner. You are not trying to make something happen to secure yourself in a world of many powers. You are letting the one power reveal its already present order. Results that appear are not trophies of will, they are footprints of grace. Keep returning gently to the booth, to the root, to the center where the living cause abides as your very awareness, and let the scene report what the light decides to show. Prayer is listening. Grace functions without human will. When cause is recognized as within, prayer ceases to be a plea from earth to heaven and becomes a receptivity in which heaven reveals itself here. Listening is not passive, it is choiceless attention, setting down the tools with which we tried to sculpt outcomes. We do not inform omniscience, we fall silent before it. We do not persuade love, we yield. I can of mine own self do nothing is the doorway, the Father within me, he doth the works, is the life that walks through. In that inner hush, the still small voice is not a sentence, it is a presence. Prayer becomes communion rather than communication. We cultivate the inner ear by fidelity to quiet pauses woven through the day. This presence speaks by impartation, not argument. It may arrive as felt peace, a lifting of concern, a rightness needing no reason. When that peace enters, the prayer is complete, not because the condition changed, but because conviction dawned that reality was never disturbed. To labor in words past that point drags us back into personal will. Let silence of the last word within very gently. If guidance follows, it will be simple. Call this person, rest now, go here, say nothing. Its authority is gentleness. It does not bargain or threaten. Make room for this listening during the day, 3 breaths with the heart turned inward before a meeting. A quiet bow in the grocery line. Wake in the night and let your first awareness be, here I am, Father. Do not outline. Do not tell God what healing must look like, what supply must amount to, how reconciliation should unfold. Outlining asserts a personal mind knows the pattern, listening yields to the pattern already present. Many use a simple scripture as entry, speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth. Then actually hear, without agenda, without finishing the sentence, without trying to keep the old control wrapped in pious words. Grace is the activity of God. It does not come because of virtue vows or volume. It functions without human will because it is self-moving, self-fulfilling, like light streaming of its own nature. Our part is availability. As we rest in receptivity, we become the place where grace finds entrance and expression. This is why gratitude is not a technique to get more, it is the fragrance of realized presence. The moment we try to engineer grace by schedule, bargain, or intensity, we step out of the stream and stir the water. Return to quiet confidence, not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit. The spirit requires no assistance. When fears clamor, listen deeper than the fear. Let the feeling be there without commentary. Weather passing through changeless sky, remember, prayer does not arm wrestle appearances, it beholds the one who never contends. If nothing is heard, do not force a message. Silence is a full answer when it carries the awareness of presence. Often, after such resting, action is plain and effortless. You find yourself protected without defensiveness, provided for without scheming, reconciled without rehearsal. The fruits confirm the root, yet attention stays with the root. Keep the ear of the heart open through the ordinary, and let the extraordinary arise as the natural overflow of the invisible made visible, and from that overflow, love reveals its nature as impersonal. Impersonal love is not cold, it is purer warmth than sentiment can carry. It is not personal liking or disliking, not attraction or aversion, not the trading of favors or the nursing of grievances. It is the sun's way, shining without calculation, without preference, recognizing the same life in every face. It does not begin with trying to feel a certain way about a person. It begins with recognizing that the Christ is the identity of all, and that this recognition is love being itself. When love is impersonal, error is not personalized. We do not turn a confused moment into a difficult person, nor a fearful act into a permanent label. We meet suggestion as suggestion, not as someone. This does not make us naive, it makes us clear. Clarity can say no as gently as it says yes. Boundaries appear as expressions of love's order, not as weapons of a threatened ego. The impulse to punish relaxes, the need to please dissolves, and what remains is a steady regard that blesses without approving error and corrects, without condemning anyone. Practice this by silently greeting the truth in all you meet. I behold the Christ. Let this be a seeing, not a slogan. When irritation sparks, do not rush to fix the other or to justify yourself. Pause, turn within and let love precede words. Often what needed saying is said cleanly and kindly, or not said at all, and the space itself does the healing. If action is required, it will be simple and proportionate, free of the heat that comes from personal defense. If no action is required, the inward release is itself the work. Trust unfoldment, not effort. Unfoldment is grace's rhythm, petals opening because the sun is present, not because the flower strains. Effort is the personal will prying at the bud, demanding a timetable, scripting outcomes. Spiritual living is neither passivity nor push, it is responsive availability to the way life presents the next true step. Daily bread arrives as the single clear thing to do now, not as a 5-year plan distilled into certainty. We do what is given and leave what is not given to the one who knows. Notice how unfoldment frees you from the tyranny of how and when. The mind wants guarantees, the heart of listening accepts guidance. A phone call comes unplanned that resolves the knot, a delay prevents a larger mistake, an idea appears in the shower with the quiet authority of rightness. You did not wrestle these into being, they emerged as the scene reported what the light decided to show. Measure not by speed or spectacle, but by peace, by the absence of inner strain while appropriate action proceeds. In relationships, trusting unfoldment looks like refusing to force reconciliation or to harvest epiphanies on your schedule. You hold the other in impersonal benevolence and take only the steps that carry the ring of truth today. Sometimes that is an apology without self-abasement. Sometimes it is silence without withdrawal. Sometimes it is a clear boundary that honors both parties. Because love is impersonal, you are not trying to extract validation or agreement. You are letting love be the atmosphere in which the right word, the right timing, the right outcome can appear. When fear or urgency presses, return to the inner sanctuary and let love reclaim authorship. Breathe and remember love does not fail, because love is not attempting, it is being. Stand in that beingness until the next step is obvious, then take it without fanfare and without clinging to results. What follows will carry the ease of inevitability, not the fatigue of striving, and the day will feel arranged from the inside out, as though a deeper wisdom had already prepared the way and simply waited for your consent to walk it.